Hello everyone and welcome to Reconnect topic today, and we are actually today going to discuss about the virtual technology, and I'm Chua, your host and also the moderator today. And have you ever bought or sold any property today? If so, then even now you will know exactly how the real estate business works today. And this is typically a real estate agent provide a very long list of the properties to their client. Then afterwards come with the explanation, the negotiation, and finally the physical visit to the show unit. And this workflow actually is already remained for a few decades, and this is but in fact that this is very inconvenient for nowadays, especially during this pandemic and during this MCO period, because that we know that like the Sears Gallery, they already locked down, even that currently we already open for the appointment, but there is still some SOP, the standard operation procedure to follow. And actually this is but due to this, also thanks to the pandemic, also MCO, and there is a game changer that is already transforming the way of the real estate industry selling the property and also buying the property today. Okay, that so-called the game changer actually is the we so-called as the virtual technology. It involves of something like the virtual reality, the augmented reality, even the virtual tour that can be widely used in the property industry to help the agent or even help the property developer to virtualize the so-called the physical show unit. Okay, like from entertainment industry to the gaming industry and now into the property industry. Okay, virtual technology is actually rapidly emerging, but how effectively it can be in the property industry, and is it all the virtual technology is being just another marketing strategy, something like a marketing gimmick that just let the public to know, wow, this is very very new thing or very special thing, or actually it can be actually really used to boost up the so-called the efficiency of the property industry to close the sales. Okay, like in order to answer all these questions, today we are honored to have two panel speakers today here. That we are actually going to share about today's topic is called the imagination versus reality. How the virtual technology is changing the way we see the world. Okay, like let us welcome our first panelist. Okay, Mr. Ashi Hui. Okay,
Hi.
the co-founder of the VProp Touch. Okay, maybe you can just have some quick explanation introduction to our audience, so that they know actually you are from which background. As I know that you are actually from the architect background, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm a practice architect, and I'm a co-founder of the VPop Touch. So what our company do? Actually, we do VR walkthrough and the platform. We do interactions VR, not the static one, and not the 360 for sure. And we also do coding, in order to make the VR in more interactions and features. Like for example, you can do the measurements. You can turn around, changing the color of the sofa, etc. So we really want to do a platform for the developers, agents, purchaser, banker, or lawyer, in order for them can interact in the virtual world.
Yeah, it sounds a very very new thing in the today's world, especially at the Malaysia here. Actually, not much of the although we can see the virtual tour everywhere, but actually they are more like a not more like a pointing things instead of the really virtual tour that can run through changing all the furniture. Right? Yeah, okay. So we actually also have our second panelist today. Okay, it's Mr. Edwin Ng. He is actually a commercial photographer from the E2 360 commercial team. Yeah, maybe you can have some brief about your background and what you are doing today.
Okay. Hi, my name is Edwin. I'm a commercial photographer from the E2 360 commercial team. And I'm specializing in doing 360 point of tours, and I've been doing it for about roughly 5 years now. Now, if you look at the current real estate scene, many property developers and also real estate agents have actually adopted VR and AR in their sales process. So a lot of my clients are also real estate developers, and they are always on the constantly lookout for marketing tools that can give them the edge over their competitors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 3 years ago, I was engaged by a VR company where they did a project for one of the top developers in Malaysia. And at that time, the project was to be launched without a show unit.
Oh, so it's
because it takes
typically
time.
wholly virtual launching.
Yeah, so because it takes time to build a show unit actually. So they do not have that time. So they actually engaged us to develop the whole entire VR experience, okay, to showcase the show unit and the view of individual show unit at every floor, and also the facilities of the condo as well. And the developer achieves very impressive sales within 3 weeks. And the engagements from the VR, from the buyers, are very positive at that time.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Edwin, that actually shared out his experience about that, what they do previously. And I think this is a very good thing. Like, I think, like for you, just now you mentioned actually it's 3 years before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they actually, at that time, it's still before the MCO. And many of them, actually, the virtual tour, this thing actually is the so-called really not so common thing, because at that time, everyone's still keen to go to the physical show unit, and this is, I think, is so-called one of the pioneer that actually adopt this technology and do into their sales gallery also.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, for now, actually, we know that the virtual technology actually is to fit into a broader vision for how the real estate industry could function. And then, as I know that both of you have been the frontliner of the adoption of the VR and AR, and perhaps that maybe you may share some of your successful story and experience. Like for Ashi, okay, you are actually from the architect background, and currently you are particular interest in the research and also designing like the eco master planning, the cities, and also the sustainable building design, right? Maybe you can share something like how this industry currently using this virtual technology into your so-called your research or maybe your planning.
Wow. Actually, we started our VR company 3 years ago. I think it's a very similar time with Alvin. And our first objective is to create a tools to streamline the selling process and to let the purchaser to understand, even though we do not build the actual unit. So a lot of benefit of it, you see, maybe people think this is a gimmick. But as you know, construction is something very complicated industry. They involve a lot of parties. They involve contractors, developers, in the pre-construction stage. At the post-construction stage, you involve a lot of mistake on site or site management, etc. And then, how about the selling part? So the purchaser, maybe they buy something that out of not in their expectations when they get the key. So how do we from streamline the A to Z to mitigate the discrepancy, or bring the gap of the expectations? What we think, our team think of is, I think VR is something that we need to embrace. We have a story. The developers, they save million and million ringgit just because they don't need to build a physical show unit. As you know, a lot of projects, they might have a few types of products, but one unit, in order for you to build one unit, including the structure or ID works, you may spend millions.
Yeah.
So how much you can afford if you have 5 or 6 types of your products? So I think the VR actually can bring the gap, and we can make the whole industry save a lot of materials,
And also reduce the cost, right?
times, travel times, so end up, we can reduce a carbon footprint. I think this is
So that eco-friendly, right?
yes. Won't you think this is a better world or better directions that we should go to?
Yeah. This one I fully agree for this one. Like, how about Edwin?
Yeah.
Just now you got mentioned that 3 years before that actually there's not much of the developer actually doing this so-called the virtual sales gallery.
Yes.
But as you are the one of the pioneer that doing this thing, what is the difference compare between previous and now today?
In terms of market acceptance on VR and AR, of course now it's better acceptable compared to a few years ago. Okay, so when we started, a lot of the top developers, their website, they don't even have like a dedicated 360 gallery or 360 virtual tour, or sometimes they call it 360 partner tour. You see, they don't have. But if you look at it now, most of the main players, the top developers in Malaysia, are adopting it, and you see their website. There is a dedicated section where you click on it, you can see all the VR and AR happening there. So I'm glad that I'm able to pioneer this and play a role in helping the developers to put in part of this kind of additional sales process into their already existing.
Yeah. Like instead of the so-called the virtual sales gallery, actually I also find out that during the MCO, there are also some of the developers that actually doing the so-called the virtual launching, which means that like at the previous before MCO, they actually do the launching at the physical event. But now they actually they just do the 360 shooting, they convert their whole so-called the sales gallery, not only for the show unit but all the whole sales gallery into the virtual method. Then they just do a launching there. They embed all the video, all the launching ceremony inside the so-called this virtual sales gallery. But this one I feel that this one actually the MCO actually is like a accelerator, like they accelerate all this adoption of the technology during this very tough time for all the real estate industry lah.
Yes.
But I think sorry.
Yeah, sure.
But I think not many people really experience real VR. What mostly in the market now is like one-way interactions.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit in front of a screen, and then you see the video, see the 360. But what we do actually, you inside the virtual world, together with your agent or lawyer, and you can talk to each other. You can interact. You can take up the glasses. You can see where's the sofa. Can move the sofa as well.
Even you can change the furniture, like your interior design.
And then you can measure it, and you can hear the bird sound. You can see the unit facing which views. And that is interactions. It's not something that what the current market. It's just a one-way direction. You just sit there without any, interaction with your agent. I think this is really a powerful technologies that we are.
Which means that for the current virtual technology, we still have another step to go further lah.
Yes.
Okay, nice. Okay, like for just now we talking about the virtual technology will help in the property selling and buying process, right? Like the real estate agent, like because that real estate agent, they are more likely like the so-called the center person, like they connect the developer and also the buyer. They sell the developer product to the buyer, and then this one that actually most of the real estate agent, they don't want to disintermediate themselves, and this is what exactly the VR actually do today. They actually trying to replace the agent. Like for now, actually all the VR already contain all the so-called the property, the product detail inside this so-called the virtualized already. And this is what the agents now is actually feel that there is something go wrong. If let's say everyone also using the virtual technology, then might be they will be the next one to eliminate it. And this is why the agent today, they are actually still want to keep for their so-called their previous traditional method. They still want the buyer to contact them, still want to make appointment, still want to bring them to the physical show unit, and only close sales from there. And this is actually one of the fundamental issue and also the challenges that the virtual technology is going to face today lah. And the agent as a center part of the real estate transaction process, why would we encourage the buyer to use the technology, and actually how we can encourage the agent to use this technology instead of seeing them as the eliminator to eliminate them. Why not how we can encourage the agent to use this technology to improve their process?
Well, yes, I think people thought all this technology is going to keep them out of the whole process. Yes. But this is very wrong concept. Actually, our theme never thought about that right in the beginning. What our objective is to try to create a marketing tools for the agents or whoever sell the properties. And the tools must be very powerful, and it can help the agent to streamline the flow and increase the efficiency during the marketing or selling. For example, can we imagine we still need in the VR virtual world, we still need the agent because our VR is not a one-way directions, as I mentioned before. So agent is a very good tour guide to tour the purchaser into the virtual world and then show them what is the features of the properties, to answer their questions, etc. So we still need the agent. The roles of the agents become even more powerful because in the you imagine if you physically get the key, open the door, make appointments, how much time you spend on the travels. But now we are talking about you can bring your purchaser without any traveling. You can bring your purchaser from Singapore, from Jakarta, from Hong Kong, from China. There's no boundary for the agent. You actually will open the market for the agent. And then this technology is not robotic. We are not putting a robot talk to the purchaser in the virtual world. We still need agent. An agent is still centralized in the whole process because all the purchasers, they need some kind of personal touch.
Yeah.
So we just replace the physical show unit into the virtual world. But we still need human touch and people interactions in order to close deal, in order to give the level of comfortability to the purchaser. So we never talk about we can kick the agent out of the pictures. It's never. I think this is a very big mistake or big misconceptions in the VR technologies.
Yeah. As for me also, I don't quite agree that the statement that the things that we do are actually replacing what the real estate agent does. Okay. Actually, when we build this kind of VR and AR, we always think into consideration putting as a real estate agent in the center of the process, and we build according to what they want. Okay. So, for example, I actually do know a few of real estate agents myself. They actually bought those small little 360 camera, and they actually go to their show unit.
They take the photo themselves.
Yes, they take themselves.
Yeah.
They take themselves, and then they post it into the internet. See, clients see it, they like it, and they actually refer themselves to the real estate agents because of some of the 360 partner tours that they see, they like it. So it's like that. We build with a real estate agent in mind. We are not here to eliminate them. Actually,
Yeah, and also thank you both of you actually come out this pointed out this very important thing that is all of the technology actually is not really going to eliminate the center people.
Yes.
But actually, in fact, that is actually something like enabler. It's actually trying to help them.
It actually complements.
Help them provide some advantage, some benefit for them to make their way they do their work is more effective, more efficient, and even that more on helping them to serve their client better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's something like people they fear. We understand their fear because it's not something that they understand or used to it.
Yes.
That's why it's quite hard for them to break through the comfort zone. They're still very comfortable on doing appointments like conventional ways. But technology, you can't stop the technologies.
Yeah, you have to go and adapt.
You have to embrace it.
Yeah.
If you not embrace it, you will be out of the pictures.
Yeah, this one I fully agree. Like everyone is using the gun to battle inside the wall. If let's say you're still using the traditional sword, how you are going to compete with other people inside the market also.
Yeah. So back to your last question, you asked how to promote or encourage the agent use the technologies. I think when the agents see the benefit, when they have visions, they know this tool is help them.
Yes.
And I think by default, automatically people will interested on it. What we do is really do our part, make the tools effective and useful. Then people will definitely use it.
Yeah.
But we need some time, to let the people really understand.
Yeah, there's some learning curve and also the adoption curve for them.
Of course, for the agents themselves, they have to be willing to change and come out from the comfort zone to embrace this kind of tech that we are offering. You see?
Yes. Okay. Like talking about this so-called the virtual technology, right? Like just now we are actually more on talking about the agent role. Okay, the agent point of view. Like how about for the buyer point of view? Like for now, it's actually everything is already become virtualized, digitalized. Okay, they can view the show unit, the sales gallery through internet. And then how can we show that there will be no discrepancy between the expectation? Because that we can know that by using this virtual way, we can do everything very, very nice, very, very neat, very clean, very beautiful, right? But then when the developer deliver the so-called their product, their property to the buyer, it will be some kind of there will be some difference compared with the virtual, what you see at the virtual and the really delivered product. Okay, like is it this implementation of VR for this show unit or the sales gallery is actually another fairy tale, or actually we can expect the market, which means the buyer side, will really accept this kind of the virtual technology, and then even that they can buy the property by just viewing this virtual show unit?
Well, the conventional ways, people go to the physical unit and see, this is a ceiling height, this is a room like. But are you sure the unit that you visit is exactly what you get if you purchase it? Are you sure? Anyone? Can you sure? Are you sure the view, do you see the view of your actual unit? Do you see how the guardhouse like, how your swimming pool like, how the facilities like? Are you sure? So there are a lot of limitations of the conventional ways. As I say, you only can build one unit, and in the constructions or in the products, they have different types, varieties. Some are facing swimming pool views, some are facing sunset view. So how can you mitigate the discrepancy? Just the physical unit. Do you think you can know exactly what you get? I don't think so. But in the VR technology, actually we capture the real view. Like the low level, you can see the swimming pool. The higher level, you can see the city views. We even capture using the Tron technologies. So we ensure the purchaser, what you spend is worth it, and what you get. The view you see is what you get and what you pay for. So in VR, actually is much more accurate. I'm not saying 100%, but much more accurate than you only see one single show unit. Because you can see the overall project. And bear in mind what you spend in the condominium. The money you spend is not just for your unit itself, but you spend to the common area, to the landscape, to the playground, to the guardhouse, to all the facilities. But do you think the developers afford to build out the whole actual unit for you to view? I don't think so.
Yes, fully agree for this point. Because developer won't at most what they can do is actually they just build the so-called scale model. But actually for the scale model also can represent the real world, the real environment within the so-called the site there. And this is also for Edwin's side. Actually, you are actually as a commercial photographer. Actually, for this one, other than what Ms. Ashi just now got mentioned, they take the photo like for the view, for which level, different level got different view. Even that the building, the unit is actually facing for different direction. Like other than this one, do you have some experience that actually some of the developer I see today is really I can't say very innovative, but they actually doing something new. They're not even taking the photo for their project or even their facility floor or maybe their lobby, but they even take the photo at their nearby neighborhood, because we know that one of the selling point for the property developer is not only their own project but also the neighborhood. What is the thing that around his project? And then for your experience as a photographer, do you meet some of the developer that request for doing something like this?
Yes, actually one of the project I did in Penang, the project is based in Batu Ferringhi, and because of its location in Batu Ferringhi is quite far from Georgetown, so the developer actually requested me to take a lot of spots, 360 partner tour spots around Georgetown. Most of them are touristy spots, and also a lot of them are like amenities nearby, such as hospitals, international schools, convenience places to buy grocery and all. So yes, that was a very huge project, and it was quite successful. Now, if you go to their website, you can see it's like a the whole thing is like a tour Penang like that.
Oh, like Penang tour.
It's like their project is there in Batu Ferringhi, but with this 360 tour, you can actually tour the whole Penang, because they actually requested me to take most of the touristy places, and all these are done in using the 360 drone. Yeah, so it's a bird's eye view of.
Yeah, this is very quite interesting.
Very interesting actually.
Yeah. Okay. It is a general perception that the property technology is not cheap. Yeah, especially on the soft and the hard infrastructure. For those the virtual technology, like we need to buy the 360 camera, we need to buy the cardboard, we need to buy the sensor, and even that we need to buy the drone to take all these 360 photos. Right? Like in light of many other challenges, like most of the property or the real estate company facing today, like they need to pay for the high overhead tax, and also their contractor, they need to pay for their construction progress, they need to pay for their building materials. Okay, like how can you expect that the property industry or the property developer is actually willing to have this so-called additional investment into this so-called very high costing virtual technology?
Yes, this technology is very expensive. Yeah. This is what the market think of. But is that true? Is that more expensive than you build a real show unit? You know, if you build a real show unit, you spend on the ID works, you spend on the structure, it's easily cost you millions and millions ringgit. But how much if you compare to the virtual realities platform or even the Googles? I believe when the technology evolve, the price will definitely lower down, just like our handphone. You know how much it cost 10 years or 20 years ago, and how much it costs nowadays. So, and using the VR virtual reality platform, actually, do you know that we can save a lot? Because all the show unit after you done the sales, they will tear down. So don't you think the wastage is cost you a lot more money with nothing?
Yeah.
I give you another example. We have a project, and when we get the information from the interior designer, the design of the kitchens, the design of the living rooms, and the master bedroom, and then we consolidate into the virtual reality models. And then after we do the testing, the developer found out the whole concept or design cannot brand into a unit. So then they have to revise the whole design. So do you think this is something safe? Because you won't make a mistake during the constructions, or after you're done, you can't do it or you can't rectify it. Or if you want to change it, that is a lot of cost during the constructions. So don't you think this is a saving? So all this saving definitely can go back to the purchaser pocket, or increase the profit of the properties. So don't you think this is the trend, and this is a benefit that the developer want to go to, especially in this very challenging time, people try to save a cost every single things. So I think VR, virtual VR is the really a tools and platform to toward the saving directions.
Yeah, yeah. I fully agree for this one. Not only for the property buying and selling, but we actually using this virtual technology, the VR, trying to help the developer in planning parts. We can actually reduce the so-called, we allow the error and allow the issue for the developer during their planning for their show unit and even their construction
We
site.
detect the mistake even
Yeah.
prior the construction.
Yes, yes. Like just like our mobile phone, like if let's say one of the device or maybe the infrastructure is going to become the mainstream, then the pricing will of course become lower because actually the demand also will become higher, the supply also become higher. Like just now what Edwin got shared about that one of his friend actually is buying a 360 camera by his own, but we know that all these things actually for now it's even that normal people like a normal real estate agent, they can buy this 360 camera and then they can take the photo themselves, right?
Yeah, because at the beginning, those 360 cameras seem to be pretty expensive. But lately, you can easily just go and get a 360 camera for about a few thousand ringgit. Okay, some it could be as cheap as 1,000 over ringgit. So depending on the quality of the 360 photos you want, you know, of course, the cheaper you pay for the 360 camera, the quality will not be that good. Yeah, like for us, we are using dedicated 360 camera, or sometimes we use back the DSLR or mirrorless camera to take photos, you know, and those can actually give us a very high quality 360 Panotour images. Yes.
Yeah.
So depending on how much you want to spend on the gear, the result,
there's a rank there.
the result may vary. You see.
Okay. It depends on whether you which level you are trying to go for.
Yes,
Then only
yes.
depends on the level you are
Yes.
going to reach. You just choose for the weapon that you need.
But nonetheless, as time goes by, this kind of technology definitely, if it is already mainstream, definitely will get cheaper. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Then for this one, I think this is the last question because also due to the time constraint. I think this question is especially for Ashri one. Okay, like we can say that like the virtual technology has been implemented not only for the property sales and marketing, the property buying and selling gimmick, but actually also the whole planning for the construction stage. Like example, like the building information modeling, for instance, allow the conversion of the construction blueprints, the drawing, even the architect data from the multiple different source, and then you combine it together and then build out your 3D model by using this virtual technology. Like the architect NME, that into the so-called, this is the digital model. Actually, is it widely used in the construction planning instead of just only the property buying and selling parts?
As I mentioned in the beginning, the VR technologies is not just applied into the selling part. Actually, it's from A to Z, all the stages, the VR can play its role. As you know, architects or engineers, we draw the drawings on the CAD, or nowadays we have a BIM, building information model, so we can make the 3D. But kind of hardly to communicate with the client sometimes, because clients or developers they are not technical guys. So sometimes they really need to experience the real mock-up. And how could we make a mock-up in one-to-one scale in order to show this is a product they really like? So with VR technologies, I wish and we try to contribute in this process. One day, the architect, the engineers, and the clients can discuss the project in the virtual world. They can immediately know the beam is above your head. They immediately know how the door can position. Immediately know how the space will look like. So actually, I personally totally believe there will be one day all or whole construction teams can communicate in more effective way in the virtual world.
Just like what we do today, we actually communicate inside the Zoom, inside the webinar, inside the Microsoft Teams, even the Google Meet, right? But this is just another method to communicate. We just go into the digital thing, we actually present the whole building, okay, the so-called the deliver building inside the virtual site there. Yeah, this is a very good about the future. This is actually the future of the construction technology.
Yeah, it can help a lot. You can save a lot of mistake. You can save a lot of time. You know, we don't need to have a physical meeting, but we can do a site walkthrough.
Yeah, inside
the virtual world.
Yeah.
So maybe the consultants came from Singapore, Malaysia, the UK, America, Japan. So we can collaborate into one project without the physical boundary. I think because of pandemic, actually we speeding up this kind of technology and
we can just
and
go
trend.
globally.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And also for the not only for construction, even the property buying and selling also. Like why the developer going to do this so-called the 360 the virtual tour thing. At first, that what I know that previously one of my clients also is the property developer. Most of their project actually is the investment project. Then most of the buyer is the overseas or the foreigner. And when the foreigner is not able to come to the Malaysia here to visit the actual show unit, this is how the overseas agent do to close the sales. They actually show the buyer, the overseas buyer through this 360. And then this is how they actually provide the so-called the experience, the experience for the buyer, even that they are not come to the Malaysia to visit the physical show, but they can experience at their country. This is what I feel that the virtual technology actually is not only benefit for the local project, but actually also for the overseas project also.
I think Malaysia is relatively small countries, but we have a lot of talents here.
Yeah.
Our visions should not stay like a kampong champion.
Yeah.
We should reach to the world.
Yeah, we never short of the idea lah. What we need to do is we need to, based on this idea, we need to execute it. We really need to bring this idea to the stage.
Yeah, with technology.
Yeah, with technology. Yeah.
So coming back to just now you said that your overseas investors wanted to come to, but they cannot come.
Yeah.
They will see all the 360 tours, right? Yeah, the Penang project is somewhat similar to your situation as well. Because one of their target market is actually those investors or home buyers in Hong Kong. So a lot of Hong Kongers, when they first see, they don't understand how is Malaysia like, and specifically they don't understand how is Batu Ferringhi like. So with that kind of virtual tour 360 panel, they can roughly grasp how big is Penang, what are the interesting spots in Penang, and if they ever stay there or they have a second home there, they'll roughly know what to expect. You see, and because of that particular 360, they actually have a few buyers from Hong Kong. Yeah, so it was quite successful on my part.
Yeah. I fully agree because for this one, like what I mentioned just now, actually, for this the virtual technology actually bring the experience. Sometimes this is what our topic today lah, the imagination versus the reality. We actually bring this so-called the reality into the virtual world. We provide all the parties that involved in this virtual technology. We give them some imagination. There's something that doesn't exist physically. We let them to imagine, what it will look like when I get this thing. And this is the beauty of the virtual technology today lah. Okay, I think that's all for today's session. I think most of you guys actually also provide some of the very really solid points to let our audience to know about what really the virtual technology is and how should the different party like the agent or the developer, how they should using this virtual technology into their property business also. Okay, so for this one, here comes to the end of our session. Maybe I would like to invite both of you to have a very short closing remark to conclude, to wrap up this whole session. Maybe Ashri, you first.
With the virtual reality technologies, we can improve your sales, we can save a lot of cost, and we can have a fully control of the project. Do you want that? Question is, are we ready? Are you ready? So this is the open questions for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's we are now living in a current state where technology advanced in multiple times. So even so much so that some of the tech that are involved in this property developer scene outperform some of the human interactions or human functions. So although human functions are still needed, human touch are still needed, you know, we have to stay afloat, or we have to stay in the pace to embrace the change and accept the technology and be changed with it.
Yeah. This is why we call it as the technology actually is changing very fast today.
Yes.
And whether you adapt it or not, it's up to you.
Yeah.
But if let's say you are adapt slowly, then that is you might actually miss out the chances to really step to the next level. Okay. Then and actually and thank you for both of you, Ashley and also the Edwin, for taking your very busy schedule time and come to here to actually share with all these things with me and also our audience today. Okay. Then a very huge thank you to both of you and also our audience today for being online with us. Okay. Thank you very much and then bye.
See you.